I'm going to continue to fight for 15 and a union for home care workers. I love what I do. I would not take this back for nothing. I guess the thought of knowing somebody needs you is the reason that keeps me going every day being a home care worker. And it's crazy if you can't take care of your own people for taking care of other households, you know?
Tell you again, I said off the property onto the sidewalk.
All right.
That's the third time.
What do you think it would mean for society at large if the minimum wage were increased?
For society at large, I think, honestly, it would keep a lot of people from doing illegal things. I think it would keep a lot of people off the streets and more wanting to be at work to provide for their family. So to me, I think illegally it would make a big difference.
Right, incarceration is actually quite expensive for the taxpayer.
Definitely is. And we are paying those as well as trying to pay to take care of our own families with the minimum wages that we're making.
I am one of the ones who struggle to get up to go to work every day. I mean, as hard as it is to take care of someone, I knew I have children looking up at me as well. I am one of the home care workers that only makes $9 an hour, and with a 40-hour work week or more, there's still not enough money to provide for me and my children. My job is to administer medications. My job is to make sure that this patient, he or she eats, while their family member may be out of town or out of the home where they can't assist with this patient. My job is to also make sure that they are well groomed, make sure they bathe, make sure they get their hair cut, their nails trimmed, things that you have to do as a human being to take care of yourself, period. Now, I've had hospice care patients where they're mostly facing the death side of things, so things get a little more intense then because you're doing more hands-on with this patient. You're being more involved with the family members as well because they're going through this grieving process knowing their family member they're about to lose. So it's a mental thing as well as draining physically. It can also drain you mentally as well because you get attached to these people and your job kind of wants you to detach. But how can you if you're with this person at their bedside every day for 40 hours a work week or more?
I mean, that sounds like a job that deserves more than $9 an hour.
It really does. And it also is a job that you have to have a big heart to do it. You have to be there not just for the pay, but to be there to care and to nurture that person.
I had a son before this one, and one of the reasons why I had placed him for open adoption, because part of the reason because I couldn't take care of me plus him on $7.25 an hour. And so I don't really want anybody else to have to make that choice because they're not making enough money.
I was making $7.25 an hour when I found out I was pregnant. And I worked all the way up to the day before I had him, and I was still making $7.25. I left work for about 6 weeks, and I had money saved up, but that was gone in 2 weeks. So that was kind of rough.
Wait, so you don't have any pay during maternity leave?
No, you do not have pay during maternity leave at Wendy's at all. I barely make it myself. How am I going to be able to, support a child? And then, especially after I told the father wasn't trying to help. And so that's how I came up with adoption. So.
At what point in the pregnancy did you know for sure that that's what you were going to do?
I was about 6-7 months that I actually decided that was actually what I was going to do. And then, it was really difficult when I got in the hospital and actually had him, because I was supposed to do it right out the hospital. But I couldn't pull myself together to do it out the hospital. So I ended up taking my son home with me and doing it from the house. So that was, I think if I had done it from the hospital, I would not have made it, probably. Because it would have been tougher on me personally to have to do it out the hospital. So.
I guess easier now?
It's actually harder now with having him, because I'm seeing all the stuff that I missed with my first one.
We're going to line up behind this "We Won't Back Down" sign, and we're going to form a line of two. And if you need a ride to McDonald's, we can't survive off $7.25. We can't survive off $7.25.
The walk over here was really cool. They had some people standing outside of their apartment complexes kind of helping us cheer us on down the sidewalks as we was coming here. Everybody was doing their chants for Raise Up, Fight the 15, so it was amazing.
Try to get everybody on the sidewalk. Everybody needs to be on the sidewalk in a single file line.
Do you think of this form of civic engagement as a way of revisiting that very difficult decision that you had to make, imagining a version of yourself that's more empowered the way that you feel today?
Well, even though he's not with me, he's still gonna have to eventually get a job and support himself. And when he eventually has a family, he's still gonna have to, support them as well. And hopefully by the time they get older, minimum wage won't be $7.25, because that's barely making it now. I don't want my kids to have to struggle for anything. I want them to be able to take care of themselves plus their children and still live comfortable lives without having to worry about, oh, am I going to have enough money for food? Am I going to have enough money to keep a roof up on my head and stuff like that?